Hey, what up, guys? How you doing? What up, Fish in the Southeast and Michael, Caro? I'm just getting Mr. Bass is just getting a couple baits. I had asked him if he had got a couple things that he hasn't shown, but he hasn't messed with the swim baits in so long he kind of forgets which one is which. But I'm just gonna be doing an unboxing of some baits I got from the Hookup tackle, and also give a little feedback on a bait I had used a couple days ago that I had got recently as well. So I don't have too much, but it's a little bit a good amount of stuff, and some new baits that I haven't really you know gotten or used. So that should be cool. Talk about that. What up, Kyle? So usually there's not many people going live on Fridays, and there's a couple people on live, so I was kind of surprised with that. That's why I was actually kind of did at this time, was to try and like not cross over on people's stuff. So I was actually surprised on Grams. I thought he was gonna come on at like 8 o'clock, but then he kind of did an early stream, and kind of caught me off guard. So it was kind of a good thing he did that, and it worked out pretty good. What up, Brandon?
What's up? How's everybody doing? You got them all lined out there, Matthew?
Yeah.
I can't see the comments. So, well, maybe if I click over on here, I can.
Yeah, you gotta hit it now.
Yeah, I can see the comments. Got a few people in there that I'm familiar with. John Smith, man. Mr. Canadian, the smart guy in the house.
Yeah. He's been coming on the stream with when I've been going on with Tyler from the Hook Sets Are Free. He's been coming on.
Yeah. Sweet. That's cool.
But
what have you been up to, man?
Yeah, nothing, man. I actually needed to start fishing more, but I've only been fishing a little bit. I fished 2 times this week, not as much as I used to, but took like 2 weeks off, and really usually I'm fishing a lot more than that. And but I'm going tomorrow with a couple family members to my local area to go fishing and stuff like that. So that should be kind of cool. But
Cool.
how's the fishing been for you? I know you've been doing a couple tournaments and stuff.
I've been fishing like crazy, man. It's been great. I went up to the Mississippi River last week and fished up there a kayak tournament. I didn't do very well because I didn't pay attention to the rules. I I can't believe I did this, but these tournaments, especially every time I've been up on the Mississippi River, the limit has been 12 inches. 12 inches for kayak fishing. 12-inch limit. So the first day, anything under 12 inches, I was throwing out. And it turns out they had no
limit.
No limit.
Oh.
Yeah. You could measure any fish. And I don't know how many I threw out that were 11, man. 11, 11 and a half, 11 and a quarter. So that really.
So what was like the first day weight? I mean, the measurement like they had.
The first day measurement, I only had like something silly, 43 inches or something like that. It was really bad.
And who was like leading? What was like the leading?
90 inches.
Oh, man.
89 inches, something like that. Yeah. So I got smoked. The next day, I figured out that someone filled me in, and then the next day I did much better. But it was too late by then. So I came in I think I came in like 53rd place out of 68 anglers, something like that. Wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But I had a really good time. I caught, for the first time ever, I caught a dogfish or a bowfin. You ever caught one of those?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually caught one last year, and that was actually one of my first ones I caught. And I really don't see many people catching them up here, but some people do get them here and there. But snakeheads really is the one I really catch more than.
Yeah. A
Dogfish.
bowfin kind of looks like a snakehead, but
yeah, they do.
Different coloring, and snakehead can actually travel on land. A snakehead can actually move on land.
Yeah.
A bowfin can't. Bowfins are vicious, man. Super sharp teeth.
Yeah.
And, they call them a trash fish up there in Wisconsin, but I think they're pretty darn cool. They're one of the few fish up there that is I wouldn't say prehistoric, but it goes way, way, way back in time. It's one of the original freshwater fish out there.
Yeah.
They look pretty wild,
and they fight really good.
Yeah, they do. They fight.
Yeah.
They fight as hard in the boat as they do in the water.
Yeah. You got to be careful, especially with like treble baits, man. When they start spinning and rolling.
Definitely.
You do not want to get your hands near that.
What up, fish in the Southeast? How you doing, man? Yeah, so I caught my first dogfish, which was, in fact, this is kind of funny. When I just got there, I was practicing my first day of practice, and I went into a local tackle shop and I bought me a few frogs because I figured the topwater frog bite would be really good.
Yeah.
The guy starts talking to me and he says, if you're throwing a frog, you better watch out for dogfish, the bowfin. He said, man, they are vicious on top water, and they will take your frog. I mean, it doesn't matter if you got braid or anything tied on. They'll and you can't really fish a top water frog with a leader. That's I just don't know.
I pretty much would just do straight or, like you said, braid.
Yeah. So he said you're probably going to lose a few frogs from a dogfish. Very first cast, I tied on one of my frog fur frogs, the that green one with the Velcro on there, just in case. First cast, man, whoosh, and he just took it just completely bit right through my line, just like that. He was gone.
Dang.
I literally cast that frog one time.
Well, at least it was that one, not
Yeah,
any of the other ones you had.
Yeah, so I had to keep my eyes open for the dogfish the rest of the time, but they didn't bother me a whole lot. Caught a lot of pike up there, which is annoying when you're fishing for bass, but it was still a good time, good tournament. That's a fun place to fish, the Mississippi River up there in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then the week before that, I was in Canada fishing, and there we were specifically chasing big pike, and we had a really good week. All of the guys that were up there, they didn't necessarily all go with me. We had 4 in our group, and then there was 4 in another group, and 4 in another group, and then 2 in another group, and really everybody there, with the exception of a couple of old guys that either didn't fish, or one guy had back problems. He literally didn't fish the whole time he was up there. All of us got over 40 inchers. My biggest was a 40, and the biggest that one of the guys caught was a 43. But everybody caught at least one in between 40 and 43 inches.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty big.
Yeah, it was pretty dang fun.
Sounds like a good trip.
Yeah, great trip. Those.
What were you catching them on mainly?
Well, there was a couple of baits that they really gravitated towards. One was an inline spinner, like a blue fox or a Meps.
I think I saw that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that I caught my biggest one on. A lot of guys caught them on that. And then another was a big kind of flutter spoon. The Dr. Spoon worked great. So it was mostly those kind of baits, either spoons or spinners for the most part.
Huh.
Pike are so aggressive. I don't think some people understand how aggressive they are, but they've actually done studies. They did one study.
Aren't they considered like invasive up there?
I don't think they consider them invasive up there. No,
Huh.
it's considered a major species. The main sport fish up there in the Manitoba area where I usually fish every year are pike, walleye, lake trout. Those are the main three species. It's too cold for muskie, so you won't get muskie up that far north.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. Muskie are really only in a small chunk of the U.S., kind of in the northern region of the U.S. Once you get up into Canada, the possibility of finding muskie is pretty rare.
Ah, interesting. Those lake trout are crazy too. Those things are massive, man.
Holy cow! Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I was looking up this video on him. Some guy that there's like a thing about him that they don't stop growing. They just continue growing and growing and growing until they like die.
Yeah.
And they live so long. Like I didn't know they lived that long. It's crazy.
Yeah. So one thing that is very interesting about muskie versus pike is even though they look like they're from the same family, they look very, very similar, and they are similar, they still have a couple of habits that are very different. In the wintertime, once the water freezes over, muskie don't eat much at all. They really slow down their eating habits. Pike never stop. They never stop year round. They're just constant, voracious eaters.
Because I mean, even see guys when they're ice fishing, they catch pike and literally somehow eating, catching them like nothing.
Hey John, I can't believe your memory, man. You remembered the Storm Flat Stick. This is so weird. We didn't go there last year because of COVID. We didn't go there actually the last 2 years because of COVID. So we were there 3 years ago, and that Storm Flat Stick, they were just crushing it. We couldn't hardly get bit on the flat stick this year. Huh. We did catch a few, but really nothing like 3 years ago. So very, 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 very crazy.
Yeah, John remembers a lot of stuff, man.
He does, man. Is the dude got a photographic memory, or does he keep some sort of a computerized spreadsheet?
He remembers the Megabass colors like crazy, man.
Everything I say, and then he pulls it up.
He does. But what up, Tim and Wild Gill?
Northern pike, Tim, is just a blast to fish. They're all, you're right. They're extremely aggressive. They're really fun to catch. You just have to know how to handle them.
Yeah.
Because they will even though they got sharp teeth, I don't worry nearly so much about their teeth as I do about them putting a treble hook in my hand.
Exactly. Yep.
That's
the same thing like with stripers, man. It's the really only thing you got to worry about them with.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I know I'm Mr. Bass. I talk about bass all the time, and that's pretty much what I'm chasing most of the time. But I really like chasing those northern pike and walleye and those kind of things. It's fun.
Hey, fishing's fishing, man. Sometimes, I like going saltwater fishing and stuff like that. So, that's fun. And,
For sure.
Sometimes, it can get a little bit boring sometimes when, the bite is not really there. So when, saltwater fishing, sometimes I go when it's like December and it's like really, really cold, and go on charter fishing for like togfish, which is really when the season is.
Oh, cool.
And that, man, it's really an awesome fishing it's experience. It's like totally different. And the tog fishing is kind of hard. It's like they're very, very smart, and they'll like literally, like the hooks you're using it's just like a jig hook, and it almost looks like a bass jig hook, but just bigger, and but without a skirt, and you just put like a half of a crab, or you can take a whole crab and put it on there, and you usually end up getting a bigger bite. But usually you just take a crab and cut it in half, and then you put the crab on the jig and then drop it down. But the thing is that they're so damn smart. Is what they'll do is just bite the outside of the hook and not actually bite the hook, and you actually feel them just pecking at it, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then also, if there's video of it too on YouTube, they'll take and grab the actual jig, and when they get hooked, they literally get inside the rocks, and they'll literally like puff their body up in a way, and they get stuck in there, and literally the hook is impossible to get them out.
Wow.
Usually,
great.
you know, the guys that are the charter boat guys, they're like, oh, if you're in a snag, you're most likely going to get bit, because that's where they hang at, is inside the rocks and crevices. And so usually that's what happens. You'll literally, your jig will get stuck for a second, and then like a couple minutes later, all of a sudden you just see your line moving, and it's nuts. But they're very smart, and they live very long. Like they're very slow growing, so there's a very strict like limit on them. And they only get like I think they only grow about like not even an inch a year, and it takes like 15 years for them to get just enough size to where they can be like about like, I think it's like 12 inches or 10 inches, and then after that they start growing very even more slowly, and they can live up to like 50 or 60 years.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. And some of the big ones, man, they fight like crazy. I really compare them to like I call them like the saltwater smallmouth, and it's because like they just dig down, man. And as soon as you set the hook, you have to like keep your rod up high, or not they'll get right into the rocks and you're screwed.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is really wild. Sounds fun though.
Yeah, you have to like use like this is the reel I use actually for going tong fishing. And if you don't really have something like this, it's kind of, or like a big it's pretty much like spinning reel. Most of the guys use reels like this.
Yeah.
And pretty much if you don't have like that torque handle, it's kind of like you're like really trying to like hurry up and get it up, or not you get stuck. So it definitely helps having a reel like that, because you get a lot of torque on them.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, like Tim said.
Yeah, so fishing. I finished Canada. Before Canada, I've been doing a lot of kayak.
Sorry, Tim, I didn't mean that. I accidentally hit a damn button by accident. My damn computer.
They wanted me to send a picture of the bob.
And so like I said, my bad, Tim. I blocked you by accident. I hit the button.
Just for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know how I went, and the comments went up all of a sudden real quick when I went to hit somebody's comment, and it went and messed it up. Cool. But what were you going to say?
I was saying before Canada, I've just been doing a lot of kayak fishing, local, ponds, and I was working on a lot of videos for kind of newbies, entry-level pond fishing baits and stuff like that, which that's been pretty fun to do as well. I'm supposed to go tomorrow with my buddy Dean. I may not go. I'm not feeling too hot tonight. We'll just have to see how I feel in the morning. But my buddy Dean's getting he actually went up there with me to Wisconsin, and I've got one of those power poles, those micro power pole anchors, and he doesn't have one. And he was so frustrated getting blown around the lake, moving around. So as soon as we got back, guess what he did?
He got a power pole.
He went and bought one, and he's tight. He's real tight with his money, careful with his money. He doesn't like, if I see anything that glitters, I'm going to go buy it, because I'm a sucker for anything fishing. But my buddy Dean's not, but he finally saw, that power pole micro anchor is the real deal. It's awesome.
They are. I definitely want to get one because I got a little kayak from a friend. So I definitely, if I'm gonna take that out, I really want to have it because the areas where I go, it's got usually current in it or some sort of moving water.
Yeah.
And really, the areas that you gotta like fish, you have to like kind of stay like hunkered down and kind of reach those areas, or not, you just get blown right out of there. And I think that's really a key thing to have if you really want to fish comfortably a little bit more with the kayak. So
even where I'm at, where a lot of times I may not be fishing in current, but we get a ton of wind here.
yeah,
And, a wind will blow your kayak to kingdom come, man.
yeah,
You want to be fishing, not fighting and trying to maneuver the boat. You know, you end up spending
exactly.
you want to spend up half your day just trying to get the boat in position.
And then you get worn out.
Yeah.
What up, Illuminated?
Yeah, Nathan, how you doing, man? Caro, Julie,
and Daniel, Julie. Yep. How you guys doing today?
the whole gang's on.
But yeah, and but like I said, I let me just show one of these baits, and then we can keep on going.
Okay.
But I got pretty much, actually, yeah, I'll just show this one for now, and then but this is just a another Koyo slide sinker. It's that sinking walking bait, but this is in that Respect color series of the moth color. They got it from the Mothra color from like Godzilla. That's what it's
really
actually from.
So what does a slide sinker do? Do you walk the dog with it?
So yeah, it's pretty much a sort of like finesse walking bait. It pretty much is sinking walking style.
It looks a lot like my Mega Bass Dog X.
Yeah, it's pretty much that, but in a finesse pretty much profile. And it goes and it sinks. It doesn't actually float. So
yeah, the Dog X floats.
yeah, so it's pretty much that, but in a sinking pretty much option. So you can pretty much go real fast and it will stay on top. But what the purpose is that you can pretty much allow it to sink or on a pause, and it will just slowly sink down and really, really slowly. And then literally as you jerk, it will start to work its way back up and almost looks like a little fleeing shad. And then as it pretty much almost breaks the surface, usually it kind of gets like this little hop, and then it starts to like walk again. So it almost looks like a little minnow surfacing and blowing out for a second, and then it just goes back to walking.
Gotcha.
But it walks very well though for its size, and it's a pretty decent weight. It's about 7 grams, so 1/4 ounce.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that color pattern. That's cool.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool color pattern. I was actually talking to John about it. He was, like I was saying, he remembers all these Mega Bass colors, and there was a color I was talking about that was like similar to like a bullfrog, and I thought this was the bullfrog color that I was thinking of, but it wasn't, and it looks very similar, but it's a little bit lighter, and it has just the same similar dots on top, but a little bit wider and darker colored. But it's a pretty nice color. And actually in person, it looks a little bit different. It has like a copper goldish tone inside of it that you really can't see in it. But it's a pretty nice color. And I like it. It's a pretty good bait. I've caught a pretty good amount of fish with them, and with my other ones I got actually a decent amount of them. And they catch pretty good sized fish. Like you wouldn't think they would be luring in that big of a fish, but I've caught pretty good sized 2-3 pounders with them, and they seem to handle them pretty good too.
Cool. That's cool. I got something here you might be interested in checking out. Let me see here. Take this out of the way. I got a whole box here. Check this out.
Oh wow!
From
Hendrix. Wow, that limited box.
What do you think could be in here?
Is that the swim bait box?
No.
Huh.
It's all of their new frogs.
Oh.
Every color. He sent me every color of all their new frogs.
Huh, I didn't even know they were making frogs.
Yeah, they're brand new. Just came out. So most people probably have not seen any of these Hendrix frogs. There's two types. There's a popping frog and a regular frog. And I just got them, so I haven't even taken them out of the package to know, if they're really decent or not. But I'll show you real quick a few of them and the colors. They call them the standard frog. They call the Voodoo Frog, and then the popping one is just, I think, the popping Voodoo. So this is kind of.
Illuminate. Then you are right about the kind of slide sinker. It kind of does have like a jackal riser look without the lip.
So check that out. I don't know about a pink and purple frog.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to go try out some smallies with it. I don't know. It might.
Hey, yeah, that's actually true. I never thought of that.
It's got a white belly though. That's really what the fish would see most of the part.
Yeah.
So this is their Voodoo model, which if you were to compare
it looks like something like a copperhead frog.
Yeah. If you notice, it's only 2.5 inches long. So it would be considered a small frog compared to, like, a lot of companies make a bigger frog and then they'll make this smaller frog with 2.5 inch size. So 2.5 inch size though will definitely catch you fish all day. So it's about a ½ ounce. Yeah, it's ½ of an ounce and 2.5 inches long. So you got kind of this pinkish color. Here's more of a traditional bullfrog color.
Oh, okay. How do they feel? Do they feel like soft or?
I don't know. I haven't even taken one out of the package. Let's look and see. What I don't know, just maybe because this is initial early prototype.
My bad, Tim.
It doesn't have any. They don't tell me the. So
they look kind of soft.
They look shiny.
Yeah, they do. They look like cheap.
Yeah, I'm surprised how shiny they look, but and the rubber feels kind of.
Does it smell like that high, like really plasticky smell?
Yeah, it does actually.
So they might be painted.
Yeah, they might be painted. Anyway, that's kind of the more bullfrog looking color.
It's a good cream belly. Like that.
I wonder, I'm going to have to fish with some of these and just see how durable they are. The hook does feel very sharp. It doesn't. I don't know if it says on here like what brand of hook. Mustad hooks. So Hendrix Frog is back with new upgraded design, same desired softness. This frog is ready to work its voodoo magic on fish all over the world. It's got a lower belly weight system. Soft rebound body, razor sharp mustad hooks. This frog is the must-have. So it's got a weight transfer system in there. Weight. What do they call it? What did I say? A lower belly weight system. Yeah, it feels like there might be something right down here where the hooks are joined together. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the one thing I do know is many times what you think the fish will like, they don't like, and vice versa.
Yeah, that is true.
Here's a white one.
Oh, that's a nice color.
Red eyes and red. I do like. I think this is kind of a cool idea to add some red accents to a white frog.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And he's got a solid red frog here with a little black accent on it.
That's a nice one too. I think red frogs might be just underrated overall.
Yeah,
you don't really see many people.
I was throwing a bright red Cinco the other day, and the bass were crushing it.
Yeah.
So then they got this, which I would call more of like a Shad Imitator. It's got a pretty bright blue back, but the sides. Look how silvery the sides.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of a Depths frog.
The glittery
color. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Let's see if I got any more. Oh, and I got a chartreuse one.
Not bad colors, actually.
Looks like the belly's white. Bright chartreuse, black eyes.
It'd be good though, like some dense vegetation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's all the voodoo frogs, and then the popping frogs. I'll take one out of the package here to show you. It's also small, 2.5 inches, ½ ounce. I could compare this to the actual regular frog so you could see. Now the popping frog has just a single tail, single leg.
A big cup on there.
There's that purple and pink again, but the cup's white. This kind of shows you the two together.
Yeah, they're not too big, like you said. They're pretty
So
big.
if you're a subscriber to the Hendrix boxes, I'm sure these frogs are going to show up in the boxes on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Be my guess. But you can go on their website and buy the frogs separately as well. Here's a different color that I didn't get in the regular frog, but I've got in the popping frog. It's a black back with kind of a gold. Let's take this out. This is kind of.
Michael, what are you talking about? What hooks on for what bait? On the frogs or the mega bass? You can keep going. That's a nice color. That'd actually probably be good if it was probably a little tougher, maybe for like some snakeheads, because they love gold, man.
Yeah. Red eyes, lots of gold flash, black back. It's very interesting. I wish I knew what they called these colors. He doesn't have any of that on him yet on the package.
He wants to know what kind of hooks are on those frogs, like.
Well, it's a mustad hook, and it's the typical frog hook. Two hooks in it. You can see.
Yeah, he's probably wondering what the brand was.
Yeah, they're mustads. Here's the white one. Chartreuse one we already looked at. The bullfrog one we already looked at. Popping frogs. And here's a new color that I didn't have in the other one. This one is one I would throw a lot, probably. The solid black.
Black, yeah.
With interesting though, it's got a green, like a green pumpkin tail or leg. It's got blue eyes, which is interesting.
Yeah, I like that popper one because I like that big cup on it. It's a pretty big cup.
Yeah. I just remembered. I just got an email a few days ago from Ketchco, who does the mystery tackle boxes. If any of you guys are not mystery tackle box subscribers and you're thinking about doing it, they got an amazing new thing coming up. It's radical. A new subscription model. In fact, I want to pull this email up to tell you because I can't even make this stuff up. It's really kind of hard to believe what they're doing. One of the things they're doing. Let's say you got lots of money, and you want to basically buy a lifetime's quantity of mystery tackle boxes.
What
you can get? This is what they're going to do. This is their 10-year anniversary. So mystery tackle box is 10 years old, and this is coming out here in the next few weeks.
Damn,
I'm giving you a sneak peek. This is one of the things they're doing as part of their 10th anniversary celebration. You can get a 10-year mystery tackle box subscription for $1,000. 10 years.
That's not bad though.
10 years worth of subscriptions for $1,000. That's an amazing price. Let me see what that works out to.
That's actually really not bad, and really when you put it into aspect of how many years that is.
Yeah.
Shoot.
That's 120 months. 120 months worth for $1,000.
And if you average at $25 to $30 a month.
Yeah, it works out to $8 a box. $8.33 for mystery tackle box for the next 10 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Another thing they're doing is if you sign up for a 1-year subscription, 12 months, they're going to give you a free Guggen Gold Series rod. The Gold Series, I think, is their best series on the Guggen side of rod. So
Yeah, besides that, obviously, new one that's coming.
yeah. So if you have to have faith they'll be around in 10 years. Yeah, Michael. That's always true. You know, you never know. So many baits I won't use, 10 years worth.
Yeah.
But you know, you always get the best deal on a subscription, any company, if you buy the year subscription. So if you're one of these people that say, you know, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on a year-long subscription to Mystery Tackle Box, you can get a free gold rod.
Yeah.
For not, you know, that's pretty dang good deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Illuminate, and I have used the sleeper gill. I had it right here actually. I used it a little bit, and it was pretty decent. Like I said, it had a good tail kick to it, and you could feel it through the rod. It was a little bit more obviously pronounced than the dark sleeper. But like most people said, you pretty much, it seems like it's more of a steady retrieve bait. You can go a little bit slow with it and, you know, almost be near bottom. But I think it's overall just a straight retrieve bait. It's not like the dark sleeper where you can almost work it like a jig. But it worked. It came through the grass really well. Like the green grass I had, it went right through, no problem. Didn't have any issues with it grabbing anything and stuff like that. But I didn't try it in the wood like other people were saying that it was working in the wood. But I didn't try it. I didn't want to push it because I only had one of them because I had won it off of a Gramps fishing with Gramps Live. So, but I'm gonna keep trying and see how it does. But I didn't get any bites on it. So, but I only used it for like 40, 30 minutes really for the whole time I was out there. So I got to give it a little bit more time before actually saying, you know, it's not a good bait or anything like that. How has it been for you with that? Because I know you got a bunch.
Are you asking me or somebody else?
No, you.
Oh, I have a bunch of sleeper gills, but I haven't fished with them yet.
Oh man.
So I don't know.
I'm surprised.
It's because I got them right before I left for Canada. And then I went to Wisconsin, so I really haven't had a chance to fish with them. But make no mistake, I will definitely fish.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Carol, what the reason that is because I think the Gold Series, I bet you, is a higher ton blank, and they're probably not using like a quality higher ton blank, and it's probably very brittle.
Yeah, I can't tell you, Carol. I really don't know anything about their rods. The sleeper gill, I think, looks pretty awesome. It looks pretty. What kind of bites have you been getting? Does it feel?
Well, actually, I didn't even catch anything the last time I went out. The only thing I caught was a damn carp I snagged.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
but before that, it was mainly swim jig, a bottom contact like hybrid type of jig where you could swim it or use it in heavy grass or cover, and crankbaits really, digging them in rocks, and also my crank down that I have that I was actually gonna give some feedback on a different bait that I have, an elude, this little guy, but this one here I was getting a good amount of bites on this guy here, but
okay.
That was what I had recently mainly was getting fish on was that. But how about you?
Yeah, I really want to try it, but I haven't tried it. One of the things that I am going to try to focus on a little more the rest of the year is more of some of these soft swim baits that I bought. You know, I bought a ton of the Citizens, and I really want to throw those more. Have you thrown those much? You know, they kind of had so many releases of the Citizen here a few months ago that I bought just about every color that they were putting out there. You probably bought a lot of them yourself.
Which one? What is it?
The Citizen.
Oh yeah.
You know, tons of these have been. He's been releasing a lot of these.
I haven't used mine actually. I've used the Battle Shad, but not the Citizens, that I probably should with the grass that I have.
Yeah, I want to really throw a lot more of these this year. I got so many different colors. This is another deal that surprises me. They don't put the color on the package. You guys know that bugs the heck out of me. I mean, this one here is kind of their gold, I believe. You know, it's got,
I noticed that too, that they don't have the colors on there.
for the amount of money you pay for these suckers, they should label them.
Yeah, it should at least have like a the sticker that goes on.
I know it. And then this, I think, is the blue. Isn't that the blue? I don't think that's a silver.
To be honest, I don't even. I think I forget his color names because they're also like weird.
Yeah,
like
some of them are weird. This almost looks like a crappie. This color.
Yeah, I think that one is the crappie. But he calls it, I think, something Spectre or something.
Yeah, he calls it something other than that. So
something.
I'm gonna fish a lot more with those.
But that is a sick color. A lot of people like those.
Do I use a beast hook? I use the beast hook on the Citizens, Nathan. Yeah, I use the beast.
Beast hooks. Yeah, they're more meant for the beast hooks. The BKK hook has a different weight, and it really won't align with it right. But you could probably use it, but it's made around the beast hook. So is the Battle Shad. But
the other thing I would recommend, if you're going to buy a Citizen or the Battle Shad, you need to get some of that and mend it.
Oh yeah.
So when they start tearing, you can save them and keep using them, because you want to try to get as much life out of those as you can. There you go.
See how it has that. Well, let me show you the other one where it has the bait not in, the hook not in it, but that little channel there is really meant for that beast weight hook.
He's tailored it specifically for that.
Yep. But it's actually pretty easy to rig. Like, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm really not like a pro with the soft baits, but it's pretty darn simple. It's not as bad as you would think.
Hey, you know what I took out before I went to Canada was the Wade Froglet.
Ah,
dude, that's
sick, right?
That sucker, I'll tell you what blew my mind on that thing. I've got a video coming out on that when I fished it.
Oh, cool.
But what blows me away with that bait is how well that thing skips. Oh,
yeah, I heard that.
My gosh, man. It is freaking off the charts.
Yeah, that's what Caesar was saying about that.
It skips so damn good. You know what? I was having so much fun skipping it. I didn't even care if I got a bite. I was just like, look at how it skips across. I mean, I could send that sucker under trees and under. I mean, just amazing where you could put that thing.
Yeah,
it is an awesome.
I need to try some because they do look sick.
It's an awesome skipping frog.
And it's probably because they're just so big that they cover so much water area. They just bounce.
That is it. That it is, and that is its problem too, because it's so big.
Yeah,
it's hard to set the hook on that thing. There is so much plastic that your hook has to get through. I missed a ton of bites on that thing.
Oh, so you got bites on it?
Oh yeah. I got a lot of bites on it. I did get a lot of bites on it, but I was kind of doing a comparison: the Wade Froglet versus the Zoom. What's that? Buzz frog, the Zoom, the horny toad. You know, the horny toad.
Yeah.
I want to do a head-to-head comparison of the two, even though they're completely different baits. The Wade Frog got more blow-ups, but trying to land them I landed way more horny toad fish. because it's just so small. I mean, so much smaller, and so the plastic isn't nearly as dense. So I think the more I use it, the more I fish with it, the better I'll get with my hookup ratios. But I'm still thinking about how to experiment to make it better.
Did you try bending up the hook a little bit on
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, I did after 10 missed fish or so. Yeah, I did mend it out and had a little better luck.
Yeah, Nathan, I did see the new Spro KGB collab, Shad. It's pretty cool. I think that was really smart of him to do that, and I that little video he made on Instagram was pretty cool to see because you can tell he was like really excited about it, and I think it's gonna be sweet because it's pretty reasonable price and it's a legit pretty much copy of his bait, and he worked with them and collabed with them. They didn't really just like steal it or anything like that. So it's kind of cool, sort of like what Mike Buka did with like 10,000 fish or Catchco.
Yeah.
And, but he actually made it to where it's exactly pretty much the same thing as like a resin bait, but in a ABS plastic one. So I definitely, and the paint jobs look sick. Like
not only that, the other thing that surprises me about the Shad is the price. It's only $60.
Yeah.
Which is a good price. It's a good price.
Yeah, it's like half the price of or a little bit even more less than that of a real resin KGB Shad.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they look sick. I mean, that bone color I really like a
Yeah,
lot.
the trout and the bone one is sick.
Yeah,
that perch one too was pretty good.
The perch one's awesome too, but that trout I think is my favorite. It looks so.
And I said, these are gonna be like the new BBZ rat. It's like gonna sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And watch, they're just gonna be all over, and guys are gonna probably try like flipping them on eBay and stuff for more.
Yeah, that's probably true. You can pre-order them right now at the house, but they're not available till December 15th.
Phew, that kind of stinks.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was hoping to try and get use one, this year. That'd have been cool.
Probably not going to happen in your part of the world. December 15th.
Well, sometimes we got lucky. Last year I was fishing till like Christmas time here, so wow. Yeah,
that is good.
Yeah, it's weird here. Like it'll stay a little bit warm around till like Christmas, and then you'll get like those random warm days, and then after like December, then it just like plummets. And then it stays cold for like those 2 months, and then it warms back up. But
Nathan's saying you can get it for $30 at. Is he talking about the same thing?
He might be thinking that it's. I heard most people saying it was $60.
$59.99 on Untitled.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty wild.
Still, like I said, it's a pretty decent overall thing, and I heard from him is saying that it's pretty much running the same as the KGB. So that would be interesting to see, like if someone could test that and actually test the resin versus the ABS and see how it does.
Yeah.
And that would be like the ultimate test right there, like to see how well it was actually thought out.
Sure.
This is let me go into another bait. This one is actually another. It's another Megabass Respect series in that color, but this is the CRX Cyclone, and this is a really cool bait. I really wanted to try it. Actually, John was the one who actually told me about this one because I actually didn't know about it, and then I actually got this color in it. But this is pretty much like a bigger version of the Griffin. And the real cool thing about this bait though is that it has like multiple channels built into the bait, and it has one on the bottom. There's like a little channel on the bottom right there, and it goes through the bait.
Mm-hmm.
And then on right in front of the face where the eyes are, there's a channel right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's two of them, one right here and another one on the other side. And what that does allows water to pass through. So by doing that, it's also a very shallow bait, crankbait. It's not meant to be going deep. So by doing that, what that allows is the bait to pretty much that water tension. It's almost the same way that the DRT frenzy bait works, where it allows that water to go into the bait to where it almost makes the bait a little bit more suspending without having to add more weight to it. So that will actually allow the bait to stay under the water for a little bit longer than it would, and it'll just slowly float. So without having to make that bill like deeper, you can make the body have those channels in it, and it will kind of hold the bait in that zone for a little bit of a longer period of time. So it's a pretty interesting concept, and it's pretty sick. But this one, and it's a pretty nice little bait. It's got a nice profile to it.
Yeah, it definitely looks nice. It's a nice color too. That same color. I like that color. What do they call that color again?
It's called moth. No, moth.
Moth.
Yeah.
Yep, I like it. Definitely like it.
And it has that, coffin bill, so it should, be pretty good near, wood or rocks.
It's going to deflect off really well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And but yeah, and like I said, it's pretty much just a bigger version of the Griffin, and it's pretty interesting. So it doesn't, I don't think it makes, yeah, it has a very light, I think, rattle in it. Yeah, it's almost like barely you can even hear it. So
yeah, kind of like a subtle knocker.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, it should be interesting. And I don't, like I said, never tried this, but it does look good on the, swim or action videos I've seen. It does look pretty good. But well,
Let's see if I had any in my.
were you able to find that bass brain?
Nope, I did not find it. I don't know where the heck it's at. But they make some cool stuff.
Yeah. I had the glide, I think it's the Gladiator.
Yeah.
That one.
Yep.
And it's a pretty nice bait, man. It has a very good glide to them. I was using it a couple of weeks ago. I had actually tested it and used it for the first time, and I was actually pretty surprised. And actually, when you kind of look at it, if you ever seen a paperweight, it's kind of sort of like the same thing, but just in a little bit maybe shorter profile and a little bit more stockier. But it's pretty much the same thing. It has very similar action to that, and it glides very level-headed. It doesn't have much roll to it. It stays pretty much level as can be, and it just glides back and forth. And you can kind of do a little bit of different glides. You can kind of get it to chop, or you can get it to glide where it kind of glides a little bit wider. So it's pretty interesting. So you kind of do like the twitches with your rod, and it'll get it to just chop. And then if you just do real bumps, it'll cause it to like kind of glide out. So it's pretty interesting though. And his baits aren't too bad of a price neither.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast with him, with somebody, I don't remember who it was with. I really liked kind of listening to his story and how much work he's put in to try to learn and figure out how to make his own baits. It's a ton of work.
Yeah. And then I think he also makes his like own eyes and everything. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
And I think he also does, I'm not sure, that might not be him, but I think he also messes with like bikes and motorcycles and paints.
Oh, okay.
Or that might be maybe I'm thinking of wake throwback baits, because those two guys, they're very similar in like the style they kind of mess with. But yeah, I know one of them messes with like motorcycles and paints like motorcycles, and you can kind of see that in like his paint jobs. It's kind of cool.
Do you have any toxic bait lures?
Yeah, I actually right here. I have actually a couple. I had the this is the
Yeah, trying to remember the names of all these.
Uh,
We need John's memory.
the crank down. Yeah. It's the freaking, what the hell? How am I forgetting this? I'm all of a sudden forgetting the name. The Wake and Crank. Yeah, that's what it is. Wake and Crank, I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to, now that I got actually a brain fart. Let me see. Because like I said, I have his this one and a walking bait that he makes, and it's, I think it has to be the Wake and Crank. I knew that's what it had to been. And then I had the Slop Stopper, which is a bluegill walking bait. So, but this one here, and this is a pretty good little bait. It's like you can use it as, like I said, it's like a crank down, or you can pretty much twitch it, and it pretty much become like a little twitch bait, and it'll just go back and forth.
Uh-huh.
And but like I said, it cranks down a decent amount. It says like 3 to 4 feet, or like a little bit deeper than that, I'm pretty sure, but it doesn't go that deep. And from what I've seen, that's why I have so much weight on it. And I put like the weight on the belly, or 2-gram thing on the belly, and then weighted the bill, so where it will angle.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
That's why I think if you're new to swim baits, you don't realize that they don't. A lot of them don't. You can't just throw them out in the water and they just work perfectly. You got some of them. Some of them take a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of massaging to try to get them to run right.
And then also, but he also, for that bait, he makes an extra lip that you can buy, and you can replace it, and you can just take this one out by knocking it out, and then you end up replacing with the long one, and that's the deep lip, and you can pretty much get that one. I think it's like 6-7 feet or more, depending on the line you use.
Did I see on Instagram that Legal Dope's got a new bait out now?
I think so. Yeah, he's got that glide. I'm pretty sure it's like a little glide.
I saw something on Instagram. I don't.
There's also that swimmer, that crappie that he's working on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I like that one. It kind of reminds me of this other company, which is like LFOD, and they kind of make baits that are similar to that, but they just like they say they're a bait making company or whatever the hell they are, but they make like 1 or 2 or 3 baits every here and there, and then people are like, "Whoa, can I get a bait?" And then they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, we're making baits," but then it's like you only see certain people with them, and it's very weird. Like it's almost like they're like hiding the baits from certain people, and like only certain guys are getting them. But then you're like looking at it and you're like, well, how are all these certain people getting that have all these subscribers and followers, but then people who are just regular people that are following you always asking, oh, when can I get a bait? Oh, when you dropping? But then I say, oh, look, I got a bait from LFOD, and you're like, wait, how did he get that?
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with that, man.
Yeah, that's kind of silly, isn't it?
I think that's just a way for them to like advertise, but instead of just being honest, just they're trying to act like they're not.
Yeah.
But this is that slop stopper from the Toxic Baits. This is that little bluegill, like almost like walking bait.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool little bait.
Looks cool.
It has a pretty nice sharp action. It'll just walk back and forth, and sometimes it kind of goes to the side a little bit, so you'll see that side of the pattern. This is an older version. He doesn't really paint these anymore like that, but it's a pretty nice little bait, and it weighs a good amount. You can cast the thing far.
Yeah. Cool. Have you seen? Did you see my video on the new Ned Cincos?
Yeah, I saw your video on that.
Yeah, those things really surprised me how cool they look in the water. They look great in the water. I'm going to try to go fish with those tomorrow. They freaking look awesome. I know some guys commented that they think Cincos are too expensive. Man, guys, you gotta need to get past some of that thinking. I mean, not to say that, look, you know, everybody loves this little guy, the TRD, you know, Z-Man. They last forever. They're super durable. Yeah, you can fish with that and catch fish all day long. It's one of the very best Ned rig baits ever on the planet. But you gotta give yourself, you gotta be open to the possibilities of new baits, man. And that Ned Cinco is going to be an off the charts Cinco bait, man. It really is. The way that thing floats and looks in the water, it's going to be a killer bait.
Yeah, like I said, I think I think they're just a little late on it, but if they would
Yeah,
have
they're definitely late. They're definitely late.
probably
I
done.
think this is part of their, you know, it's a new company, new ownership, and he's really cranking out a lot of new products. Like I said, I still don't like his new logo.
Yeah,
I think he should have kept the old stuff, but that doesn't matter. It's
I
fine.
think what they should have done just kept like the old logo and maybe just changed the color. You know,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Because it kind of takes away like that originality of the bait, you know, or the packaging and that, you know, everybody's used to. And it kind of makes it feel like, you know, something's different about it or something.
Speaking of Cincos, did you see all those new colors that Yum put out on their dinger?
Yeah.
Jeez, man, they came out with a ton of cool new colors.
Yeah, they went crazy on the colors.
They did. I mean,
some were nice, you know. I did like some of them.
Yeah.
But
Michael's never thrown a Ned rig. That's a new. Hey, I'll give you a little Ned rig tip that it kind of got past me because you get lazy or you kind of go back to the way you're normally fishing. But Ned Cady, the guy who invented the Ned rig, basically, he is still fishing to this day. He's an old dude now.
yeah.
And he puts out a fishing report a lot. You can sign up on email and get his fishing report. And it's only about, I wouldn't say Ned rig fishing. It's only about what he calls Midwest finesse fishing, but it's Ned rig or variations of the Ned rig. That's the only way he fishes. But super interesting in his last email that he sent out the other day. Here is a golden nugget for any of you people who fish a Ned rig and you just happen to tune in to Matthew's channel tonight. I'm going to share with you something that the vast majority of Ned rig fishermen do not do this. They don't even know about it. They've never really thought about the different retrieves. But if you go look at there's one YouTube video where he talks about, he's sitting on his boat and he talks about the 6 Ned rig retrieves. He has refined 6 different retrieves and he tells you what they are and how to fish them all. Mr. Bass, is there a difference between the new Ned Cinco and the 3-inch fat Cinco? Absolutely, there's a difference. The Ned Cinco is made with a different plastic that floats. And I'm pretty sure that the 3-inch fat Cinco is like the typical Cinco and does not float, but I have not done a test on that. But regular normal Cincos do not float. And in that video, I did a test with the regular Cinco cut down to the same size compared to the Ned Cinco. There's no comparison, man. The Ned Cinco is freaking amazing. But of these 6 techniques, there is one technique that he says he keeps meticulous records. Meticulous. And I'm talking everything you can think about. The type of grass he's fished in, the water temp, the water clarity. He has a stick that he actually puts in the water and measures the clarity of the water. The underwater composition of the lake. The number of fish he caught, what they caught him on, what technique he used. And he's got all these logs. And he's gone back, and here's what he says here. Let's see if I can find it. This is really interesting. Okay, here it is. it is interesting to note that many anglers who wield the Midwest finesse rigs, meaning the Ned rig,
Yeah.
many anglers, how do they fish mostly? He says they fish them on the bottom by executing a hop and bounce presentation, or a drag and shake presentation, or a drag and dead stick presentation. And these presentations are impossible to execute around patches of submerged aquatic vegetation and piles of brush or trees. But throughout the calendar year, the preponderance, here, listen to this. The preponderance, which what preponderance means is the vast majority of fish he's caught. He catches, let's see, preponderance of the largemouth, that's what we caught, are caught with the swim, glide, and shake presentation.
Yes.
Swim through the water, then he lets it glide, and as it's gliding on a slack line, he constantly shakes that slack line. That's the presentation. Swim, glide, shake.
So it's like an Alabama shake with a Ned.
Yeah. Get this. The vast majority are caught on the swim, glide, shake presentation from 6 inches to several feet above the bottom. And when we are fishing around submerged aquatic vegetation, some of our swim, glide, and shake retrieves are 5 to 6 feet above the bottom. And as our rigs swim, glide, and shake through the tops of the vegetation, according to our calculations, more than 50% of the largemouth bass that we catch throughout the year are caught using the swim, glide, and shake presentation. That's a little golden nugget right there. I guarantee you, if you're fishing a Ned rig, you're not using that presentation, and it will catch you more fish than any other presentation, according to him.
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
And he's the master.
I mainly do like you said, where you just like lift it up off the bottom, let it down.
Or you just hop it. You just hop it along the bottom, or you lift it up and let it fall. And those presentations work, but you're missing a lot of fish if you're not doing the slide, glide, and shake.
Well, right. This is the next bait I actually got. This is pretty cool. Actually, I was talking about this with on a chat the other day, but to somebody about these. But this is a new bait that Amakatsu brought over here. So or Ben from the Hookup Tackle, but it's the Java Shad IS Plus. And it can be on a couple different baits, which is kind of the cool thing about them. It can be like a stick bait, similar to like almost like the OSP Do Live sticks, but at the same time, it definitely got some scent on it. And but it's like I said, it could be a stick bait, and it's kind of actually a pretty stiff type of plastic. And if you look at the bottom, it has these kind of that go through. So
wild.
On the regular way, if you're using it as a stick bait, it would pretty much have that twitching sort of like fluke sort of action, or almost like a stick bait if you're rigging a Texas rig. But as this is coming down, those holes will kind of, the way that those fins are on the side, will kind of slow its pretty much descent and kind of keep it horizontal. But at the same time, if you wanted and you didn't want to fish that pretty much like a stick bait or anything like that, you can also turn this bait into like a straight retrieve bait. And by taking and cutting those small little fins that you see on the actual side, so you cut these here with like some scissors and cut those little tiny segments, and then you would end up having pretty much. Actually, I'm gonna do that anyway because I want it. That's why I bought them. Pretty much was to do it that way. So let me get some scissors here.
You're right, Kyle. It does kind of look like a sluggo.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, they kind of are. And actually, there's actually a mega bass bait that they just put out that actually looks like a sluggo more than this. And I forget what the hell. The Slayer X or something, and it literally looks like a sluggo, but pretty much just in a mega bass version or smaller version. But all right, so I'm gonna cut these little segments. and in the middle, it's held by, you know, that little thin, pretty much segment that you see in the middle here,
Yeah.
running down the middle. So that's the only thing to really keeping it once I cut all these little segments off. Just go this way.
Interesting.
So now, the bait before, if you saw, let me get another one out so I can compare like the way that the stiffness or the way that it is. So this one right here, if I kind of hold it like this, it's kind of stiff. The tail really is the only thing that really bends, but the body stays pretty rigid.
Mm-hmm.
If I kind of take this one, put it next to it,
Yep.
it's now bending a lot more, kind of folding. So now this one here, you can straight retrieve it, and it will have like this snaky minnow kind of swim to it. It almost looks like a little minnow fleeing real fast. So you could almost jerk this kind of and create that, you know, twitching sort of movement in the water. And at the same time, when you after you pause, you can then just take off with it and just straight retrieve. And have that almost like little tiny maybe snake, or like I said, like a minnow taking off and having that little fleeing action. So you kind of get like two different baits in one, and you can kind of choose what you want with it by just, you know, cutting those little segments out, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
But Illuminate said pretty much the same thing that Wheeler said, that he catches them doing that with that Ned ring.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I think that's going to be a pretty cool bait, because there's a couple different baits that you can only do that with that are like somewhat like a stick bait or like a fluke. And so I think that was pretty cool to kind of see how that works. So I definitely want to try and see how it does.
Here's another one that I want to I want to fish a lot this year. You ever fished with this?
Nah, I haven't. That's one swim bait or soft bait I haven't tried.
I really I'm gonna spend a lot of time with this here in the next few weeks. See how this thing does.
I heard they are a good like summertime bait, because you can go like super slow sometimes.
Yeah. I got a bunch of these in the 6-inch size. I got like this color. This is the hitch color. And this one I just showed you was their pearl whitefish. See those? It's kind of nice. And then I got one that's got a little more chartreuse in it. It's just called chartreuse shad.
That's a nice one. Is that on the back of the tail? Is that like a protector or something?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's kind of like a hard piece of plastic that holds the tails in place.
Cool. That's
smart. It is smart. Yeah, some guys do a little more to take care of their stuff. And then I got one that's got some blue on it. It's called LC Blue.
Yeah, I like that one.
So yeah. That's about all I got that's interesting, I'd say, tonight.
How do you plan on fishing those? You plan on just fishing them with like a EWG, or you gonna put them on like a jig?
I think I'm gonna try both, and just see, what happens.
I heard the way like you put on the jig, I heard that way is really good, but it's like you gotta like kind of like damage the bait a little bit.
Old Matt Allen's got some pretty good videos on the trash fish. If anybody's interested in learning more about how to fish it.
Let's see, buddy. Yep, definitely.
Tim fishes them slow on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. Is like it's really meant just a slow crawling bait, sort of like the HUDs. But I've also heard of, certain things with the HUDs too, where, burning them is actually pretty good
Yeah.
in the summertime over grass,
Yep. I believe that.
ripping them out. But this other baits I got, it's actually from Bottom Up, and these are pretty much a new bait as well. And a reason why I got them was because of the way that they're pretty much meant to be used, and also the swim video pretty much had me like kind of interested in them because I really don't see many baits that kind of do this. But let me get a better color, kind of you can see. But this is the Bottom Up Hurry Slide, and these.
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
No, it just looks really similar to the, what is it? The Do Live Craw. What do they call that thing?
You talking about the beavers?
Yeah, the beavers.
Yeah, they're the
Like
body shape it does, but the arms are just a little bit different. Yeah, they have a little bit of cinnamon too, like a sort of like the mega bass scent almost in a way. But the claws on them are very small and
Yeah, those are small.
and very thin. But what is kind of cool on them is that flange on the edge is pretty pronounced. Like it's very small, but then at the same time, on the claw, the flange on them, they're very like thick. It's kind of hard to capture, but
Yeah, so I wonder how durable that is. You'd think the fish could just bite that off quite a bit.
yeah, that could be true. And but the main purpose of the bait is like it's not really a jig type of pretty much trailer. It's meant to be used for back gliding, so it's a back gliding bait. But the cool thing about it is that it's like when you kind of pull this bait up, and the way that it's weighted, and also if you put a little weight on the back, can matter on depending on like how much weight you put back there.
Mm-hmm.
The way it kind of just moves back, it's like it doesn't move. It like stays in place. So once you pretty much pull it forward, it comes right back in the same spot, and it barely moves. And some other back gliding baits, they kind of do that, but not really. And this one kind of did that very well, which was pretty interesting to me for being as small as it is. And most small back gliding baits really don't work that well. They usually need to have like some sort of weight or at least a little bit of weight to them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I found kind of interesting. And like I said, the little claws, for being as small as they are, they move a pretty good amount. And they're kind of attached at the moment. I gotta just rip them pretty much. But they're pretty easy to move. Like I really, really nothing.
Yeah.
And like I said, the side parts are pretty stiff. They're not really that soft, but these antennas and the front part are very soft. And like I said, it's really meant to be for that specific purpose. But you can supposedly use them a couple different ways. You can use them regular facing, just regular this way, where you'd be pulling it that way. And that way, I think that would work too, because like I said, it has a lot of action, and you'd be surprised. But it's very minute. It's very like finessey. It's not where the claws are going like boom, 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 boom. It's more like a very tight, ribbed swim. So I think that's going to be pretty good. And it's a little bit different, like I said, than most of the crawl baits that I had that really had that wide swimming action to them. So.
Nathan, I have not thrown the Bone Doctor lately. The last time I fished it was over at Grand Lake for a tournament. It was some real clear water, and I really like the way it looks in the water, but I didn't get a lot of bites compared to anything else I was throwing. So I don't know. I'm going to keep throwing it till I run out of them, but I don't know if I'm going to keep buying the Bone Doctor unless it just goes crazy.
I haven't used mine.
They're delicate. They have to, you got to keep them in that plastic pack,
Yeah.
They're kind of a pain to rig. Not that you can't rig. I mean, they're not hard to rig. But I think there's other baits that are just as effective. So I don't know if I can recommend the Bone Doctor yet. I haven't probably fished it enough to really make up my mind about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta try them.
Super cool looking in the water, though. I mean, it's so.
How are you using them?
I was fishing them on a little shaky head.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah, I wanted to try them on a punch.
On the bottom in a little river, with a lot of current.
Yeah. I bet that. Yeah, that would look nice with all that appendages moving all over in the current.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta try them. I wanted to try them on the punch shot, which is like sort of like a Jika rig, but a little bit closer.
Jika rig would be good. Free rig would be good.
But that's just a different color, pretty much. It's like a shrimp color.
Kind of a shaddy look to it as well.
Yeah, that's true. It's got like a peachy under bottom with like a smoke blue flake on top.
Coffee drinking roaches and Men in Black.
That's funny.
Well, I think I'm going to have to hit the road here, Matthew. I got to get up.
Yeah, actually, that was like the last pretty much baits I had.
I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning if I'm going fishing tomorrow. So
yeah, it's no problem, man. But
it was fun. It's good to see you guys. You
cool.
diehard guys. There's not you get this late at night. A lot of the regulars have dropped off, haven't they?
Yeah, I have with Tyler sometimes. The hook sets are free. Sometimes we stay on like till like 12 or 1 in the morning sometimes. But sometimes it's crazy. But you get caught up in the moment sometimes talking.
For sure.
How fast the time goes by.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, I'll let you go, and I'll just pretty much close it out pretty much, and
sounds good.
Yeah.
See you guys. Happy fishing.
Take it easy. All right, guys. Thank you guys for, coming by and stopping by. I really appreciate that. And really thank you guys for coming by and commenting. And then if you can, leave a like and comment after on how you liked it and what I could improve and do better, and what you guys would like me to do, on future videos, or what you would like me to see unbox or maybe give an opinion on. And yeah, have a good one, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow on a stream or two. So take it easy, guys, and have a good one.